I'd like to start my presentation today with a lie. A specific lie, the MIT Fab Lab motto, that in a Fab Lab, you can make anything you can imagine. Now, some of you might be wondering actually what a Fab Lab is, so before I get to the lie, it's actually short for Fabrication Laboratory, which is a sort of modern-day inventor's workshop, space for computer-driven innovation, design, and fabrication. There's actually Fab Labs all over the world. You can see on the map here, more cropping up every day. They have similar tools, software, and ideologies, mostly about being open source and accessible. They can be part of incubators, museums, schools. They have a conference every year. You can see the last 4 marked in different places around the globe there. And they have a training program that's mostly about sharing ideas. Now, we locally strive to connect this global network to a local network to promote community-focused art, entrepreneurship, research, and education. Now, as cool as the MIT slogan might be, I can imagine pretty big. Like, I don't know if any of you guys are Star Trek fans, but the Yorktown station in the last one, I can imagine stuff like that. I want to make that kind of thing. So we can't quite get there, but we can do some pretty cool things. This is our Fab Lab. It's actually the second oldest building on campus. It is just totally falling apart, which is awesome, because we can do whatever we want to it. So we have all kinds of stuff stuffed in there. There's gizmos like laser engravers, 3D printers, digital embroidery machines, screen printing, small electronics, tools for biohacking, graphic drawing tablets, CNC milling, robotics, and it is free and open to the community. There are locations also around town in both public libraries, and we offer open lab for anybody, 6 days a week. Classes for students at UIUC, summer camps, consulting for researchers, teachers, and small businesses. And events like CU Make, which is a big make-a-thon with university and kids and everything. And open workshops soon, coming to people like you guys, adults and families. We also do have a lot of research on bringing making to everybody, studying the culture and the context of the Fab Lab we helped to start up in the Boys and Girls Club in Togiak, Alaska. Developing and refining portable labs that we could take all around the state with 4-H. And recently, helping all the local middle schools, all the local public middle schools, put Fab Lab spaces in their regular STEM, should be STEAM, classes to study metacognitive learning strategies. Okay, so anyway, the makerspace thing, the DIY making, is nothing particularly new. Humans have been making for as long as humans have existed. It's kind of gained traction lately, but it's about falling barriers to entry in DIY cultures. We have websites like Instructables, Thingiverse, and YouTube where I can learn to tie a tie every time I have to tie a tie. On the one hand, the undercurrent of this movement is very empowering, the idea that individuals can reinterpret and reconstruct the world around them. Karl Marx talked about the alienation from the means of production, and maybe makerspaces can battle that. At the lab, we do Minecraft 3D printing, which is what that last slide was, but it invites players to think about the world as rearrangeable blocks. But DIY is also a kind of lie. The narrative, like many, relies on existing tropes and social structures. With this idea that lone geniuses like Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg are gonna have technological solutions they'll invent stuff in their garage that will save us from everything. And it's kind of just problem replacement. Instead of worrying about our next meal, we're worrying about things like finding our next love online. And it's kind of a permutation of this, I was able to start my own business with a small loan of $1 million bit. Usually these geniuses have lots of external help and privileges helping them to create things. And I don't want to exhume the debate of agency versus structure. I wouldn't be an activist if I didn't think agency mattered. So what I'd rather land on, I was asked in an interview recently what design thinking meant. And off the cuff, I rambled and I didn't know what I was talking about. It's something about failure and iteration. But what I should have said is the best design thinking is DIWO, do it with others. And so this is actually from further field. That last slide, you should check them out. They have some really radical ideas about experimental artistic processes. Anyway, what I want to land on today is making together. Most people don't make in a vacuum. They get ideas from people in the world around them. They ask people, and they remix each other's work. The best innovations come from cognitive diversity, a multiplicity of ideas. And this is why our Fab Lab looks like it does. So in town, we have Makerspace Urbana. They're pretty awesome. They've given talks here in the past. They run the Heartland Maker Fest, and you can find all kinds of cool stuff there, like rockets and puppets and drones that can fly through ductwork and activities for kids. And the Makerspace is a pretty cool club. You can meet a lot of other people that are makers there. I would also encourage you to meet the artists in town. Talk to them about what they do. Ask them about how they got started. These are our kinds of entrepreneurs at the Fab Lab. Not Mark Zuckerberg's, but passion creators, Etsy artists, not people seeking venture capital. This is Brianna Lawrence and Suzanne Linder, who use the Fab Lab to make all kinds of cool stuff. And then some of you might remember Judy Lee. She gave a Pachakacha a little while back. Judy has successfully kickstarted not one, but 2 books. She worked on these books a lot at the Fab Lab, actually. She did a lot of the digital drawing on the tablets and made all the little cute plushy things on the digital embroidery machines and screen printed shirts. Here we have Max Sentowski, who brings this sort of weird flavor to creating. These people are going to be at MadeFest, many of them, or the Made events as part of Pygmalion, which you should check out. The lab also hosts summer camps, anything including plushy robots, costume foam armor, animated storytelling, making inventions, robotics, learning to sew, electronic paper circuits, mask making, and creating like spy devices for like escape room kinds of stuff. So truly accessible makerspaces aren't full of just a few powerful tools stuck in the basement for the use of a privileged or approved bunch. They strive to make gear and ideas available for as many folks as possible. For the cost of one MIT spec Roland electronic cutter, we can buy a whole classroom of portrait cutters. We know not everybody can get on campus and afford our summer camps. We made it our mission to make low-cost making available, so teens can go to the public library at Urbana or Champaign and find a lot of the stuff that we have in the big shop. And we're going to be doing this, like I said, in all the different public schools to make making in as many places as we can. Most importantly, we're trying to build our best community of support. Okay, so coming back to my original lie, you might not be able to make anything you can imagine, but we can make a lot more together. Obviously, I spoke really fast here. Check out the website. This talk is on YouTube. I got lots more to say to all of you. Please check out Pygmalion and all the makers that are there. Thank you, guys.